Oh, there we go. All right, we are. There we go. So I apologize about the. There we go. There's my gaggles. There we go. Put that up and. All right. So I completely apologize about the fiasco of trying to get this thing up. It was my first time going live and had no idea what I was doing. Um, and didn't know if I was getting good audio. So I was like, I doubt anyone's really going to view this. This is like, there's no one here watching. So this is me just kind of ranting on sort of how I got into FPV, why I got into it. I would have actually done a video with my GoPro, but um, yeah, the SD card's being dumb, and I need to. I didn't think about it till like the other day, but I need to reformat it on my little tower computer. Um, might be easier to do that than on a laptop. But yeah, so outside of that, um, yeah, so here we are. I've been building. Well, okay. I guess this is a little bit very unscripted. Um, for those of you who don't know me and who are just now seeing this for the first time, hi, my name's Goggles. I build and fly FPV or first person view drones. Um, and they're super awesome. And I don't have anything fancy or whatever to show you on the screen um, of what that is. But I guess it's basically building. You never seen me or whatever. This is not for the people that already know me. But I build and fly these types of drones, and it's got a little camera, and not these goggles, but like other digital goggles that go to this. You see what this camera sees in your goggles, first person view. No delay, no latency, whatever. And you can go fly around like a bird on crack in a parking lot or whatever. And I build them, I buy the circuit boards and motors and all the parts and solder them together. And I program them a little bit and get them to fly. And how I got here um, was from growing up around aviation, manned aviation, since I was like little bitty, like 5. Um, and yeah, it was my dad that initially gave me the aviation bug. So like he was a A&P mechanic, a licensed dispatcher, a weight and balance specialist, um, and later on he became a ground instructor, and then was also involved with the EAA, and that's the Experimental Aircraft Association. And so as a little kid, I he would forget his glasses at work or like something like that, and he would just be like, "Hey, come on, let's go to the hangar." And he would go take me to go get his glasses, and I would see like big giant 737s and all that as a little kid. And I I think the initial thing that got me like interested in just building stuff in general. Um, I think I was about 4.5, maybe 5. But he forgot his glasses, the usual shit. And he took me to work to his little toolbox or whatever, and it's really cool. And I just remember seeing this giant thing that just looked like a spaceship to me. And then because I'd seen Star Wars at that point, um, and I remember seeing that one of the engines was being worked on, and it was on like this crazy stand, and like the cowling to the engines was like opened up, and like I remember seeing the panel, dude. It was just the panels and stuff. Like, it was so cool. And then the engine was on like a giant stand, and you could see all the blades of the turbine or whatever, and it looked like a pod racer engine to me. And my first thought when I saw that was like, oh, I want to, Dad, could like, can we? I want to strap this thing to the top of the car and see how fast it goes. Like that was my first little bitty kid brain on, my first take of aviation. And then you walk by and the landing gear is just massive next to you. You're looking up at it and it's like, that's crazy huge. And yeah, it like blows your mind as a little kid. And so fast forward through the years, about the age of like between 8 to 10, um, I was going to EIA meetings with my dad because it was just, I don't know why I liked it. I just, the thought of flying, I think everyone has that like thought at one point of like, man, it'd be cool to fly. And then you have these things in your face that do that. And you're like, whoa, that's, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty cool. And you learn about how they fly, why they fly with a dad like that, and every aspect to it. So kind of, I guess I could say I did kind of grow up with an aviation expert for dad, and that's cool. It kind of led me down the pathway, and so right around, and not just manned aviation, but we would go to like RC meetups and stuff like that. And he didn't have any RC planes, and I just wanted to fly them because I knew I couldn't afford a real plane at the time. And yeah, so fast forward to like 13, 14, I got my first RC plane. And I held on to that thing for a handful of years. And then it was like right when the good foam was coming out where you could crash a plane, it would break in half and you just hot glue it back together and it goes. And then at the same time, I was watching all the quadcopter stuff get developed, where it was like balsa wood sticks with the motors, and you had to use the Wii accelerometer in there and like program it. It just crazy hacky stuff. And so like as I was getting into RC planes, I also ran into XJet's channel, RC model reviews, and that started teaching me more about model aviation. Excuse me, sorry. And from there, it was just like you're a kid having fun. It's cool. It's like outside real life video games. And yeah, fast forward through the years, you're a teenager, girls become important, and rock and roll, and all the dumb stuff that comes with that. And then right around like 25, I started getting interested back into it. And I realized that's kind of the process. You are young, you get introduced to it, you get the itch, you turn into a teenager, and then as you start working and all that stuff, you kind of like, man, I kind of want to haul off and go do something, fly an RC plane or whatever, get back to the roots. And so yeah, about 25, I picked it up and I got my first FPV drone. And it was not a Cetus. I can't remember what it was. I'll remember when it's not relevant. Oh, it was a Blade Inductrix. That's what it was. It was like one of the first kind of micro FPV drones, and I tried to fly that thing in acro, and I absolutely couldn't do it. It was really hard, uh, and I flew it around, and then it kind of just broke down over time, and just kind of forgot about it, and it was like a toy. You just pull it out every now and again, and then you've got something fun to fly. Try to make it not so dark in here. That's kind of the start into it. And I started flying right around 25, just got into it. And then work and life stress, you're kind of in and out of it. And you still like to do this thing, fly these little drones. And then, yeah, like I said, I kind of put it down for a while. And one of my friends from college, we were hanging out, and he had like a tiny hawk or something like that. He was one of my techie. He was always into tech and stuff. A little farther down the rabbit hole than I was. And he slapped a pair of FPV goggles on me while we were hanging out one day, and that like solidly changed everything. Because as a kid growing up, it was like, man, I wish I could like be in this RC plane, and like you go to all the meetups where they're flying like giant scale RC planes, and like as a little tiny kid, you're like, dude, that I could get in that thing and fly that. Why is he just flying it as a toy? And you don't understand aviation regulations and safety standards and all that stuff. And that young age, you just want to get in the thing and fly it. And that's what FPV is for me. That's what that did that day. Is it put me in the cockpit of an RC airplane. And growing up around aviation, I realized at that point, or I knew at that point, that there was like commercial licenses, or the commercial Part 107 license you can get to go fly drones and make cool money. And I had been seeing that on the internet and watching everything develop. And that's when I got into it, because I was working a pizza job, and I was like, maybe I can make $30 an hour delivering pizzas with a drone than I can now. That would be cool. And then you just get into FPV, and that was like that's how I got into FPV. And so, so here we are now. I build and fly quadcopters, and I fly them, and they're a whole lot of fun. And so now, I'm not saying that my channel's evolving. It's still going to be the same thing pretty much. But I've got a really big, cool project that I'm about to tackle. It's super cool. It has to do with search and rescue. And I'm pretty much just trying to slap this whole drone startup thing together by myself. Oh man. I just recently went to, I don't even know what to call it, just a gathering of like hardware maker people. Just a cool private event that happened. It was called Foundation. It was between Austin and San Antonio in an undisclosed location. It was really cool. And I managed to get in there and meet up with a CEO from a company called Hextronics. Shout out to Curtis Larry. Dude's got some cool stuff he's working on. Also, Flyby Robotics. Guys are kind of my competition, so if you see this and make it this far, cool. But at the same time, respect, because Flyby Robotics is who launched me into doing this whole thing and trying it out, and like actually like, whoa, there's an event with like CEOs and crazy cool people showing up, and like all right, cool. I'm going to show up to that and like see what I can learn, see what I can see how these guys operate or like what they're doing and make friends and like try to do the kind of not copy what they're doing, but like go from a garage to like making cool stuff and like making cool money and like doing something good and like benefiting humanity for that. And um, I think that that's like really cool. So yeah, and like that's another thing is like what launched me into this idea of doing this search and rescue thing is that like within the last 3 years that I've got into drones, it's been cool to see it grow, to see some of the general public see like FPV racing on like the internet and TV and freestyle videos of like really good pilots and stuff that posted on TikTok or whatever. I don't really mess with social media that much outside of YouTube. Um, uh, but yeah, it was really cool to go to this event and meet these people and like realize that like, whoa, I can do this. Like some of these people started out of the garage doing the same thing I'm doing. I'm just going to go full throttle into it. And that's kind of what I'm doing. Um, so yeah, the thing that I'm getting off topic, but yeah, the thing that I noticed in the last 3 years is that um, it's been cool to watch everything develop, but at the same time, there's also been a lot of people that have been like they start a drone company and their default move is into like weaponizing drones. And I used to be on that bandwagon and I used to be cool with it um, until I started trying to find a job doing drone stuff just in general. And I came across a company called Catalyst Machine Works. And I found out that I was going to be making drones to go get shipped over to Ukraine to get used one time. Um, and yeah, go fucking unalive someone. And it was like, whoa, like I have to sit on this and like, hmm, like I gotta go to bed knowing I fucking built a drone that like killed someone that probably didn't want to fucking be there in the first place. Like, fuck, man, that's pretty heavy to sleep on. Um, Especially knowing that like the roots of this stuff was like happy, go get them, like do something good, and now I might go make drones that kill people. Like, fuck, man, that's heavy. Um, so I didn't take the job. Um, what's up? Um, yeah, and so yeah, so I noticed that there's basically like a lot of drone companies that have come up and their default move is to go into war stuff and they don't contribute anything back to the hobby in any kind of meaningful way. And without the hobby, what's up, Lambo? By the way, I see is, um, but yeah, these companies just will go make war drones and don't contribute anything back to the hobby. And um, my goal is to do something different and build search and rescue drones and do a whole startup company and do that thing. And yeah, so I can do something cool with drones and not have to like worry about if I killed someone with drones or anything like that. Like, I know that I like helped someone or, you know, but yeah, that's pretty much kind of why I live stream this is because, um, oh shit, there's people coming in. You know, Perry and Kenny. I am, yes, Dr. Bushman. My mom is Zach. I'm Carson. I am Jay. What's up, man? Pierce. Borq. Anyways, what's up, dude? Yeah, that's kind of why I got into doing this whole thing. Is it was a lot easier. Oh yeah, see you later, Lambo. Good night. Sleep dreams. Sleep good. Have lots of drone dreams. Flying high, doing good stuff. But yeah, back to where I was at. I was just making this because it was a lot easier than doing a video, and so yeah, that's pretty much what I noticed is that everyone's making bomb drones, and I almost made bomb drones for a company that was like contracted by the government to do so. So yeah, that was like fucked up, and now I'm like having to learn a bunch of shit like programming ESP32 boards to use stepper motors to like automate some of the processes of this stuff, and then just like having to like also build the launcher thing and like all the knowledge that goes with that, and then the knowledge to build the actual search and rescue platform, and like get it flying, test it where it's like all good and not like fucking up. So we got one person watching. What's up, dude? Is that the Perez Borq guy? But yeah, I'm just hanging out. Ask me something, Perez, Mr. Borq. Perez Borq. I guess he's not asking nothing. That's cool. But yeah, that's pretty much what this whole live stream was about. It's just kind of how I got into FPV, why I started flying, and why I'm doing this goofy drone startup thing. Yeah, it took YouTube for fucking ever to get this thing up. It's supposed to be up at 10, and then it just sat there on the fucking waiting thing forever. Yeah, I'm here. I'm Goggles. Ask me all the questions. I am here. I will answer all your drone questions. Oh look, I'm also going bald. Look at this shit. I gotta shave my head soon. I can't see this part of my head yet, but I'll see that in stream or later when I go scroll through this thing to watch it. But yeah, what's up? Now there's 2 people in here. Hop up in the comments, say what's up. Tell me hello. How are you? How you do today? Ask me your drone question. Looks like we scared the other guy away. But yeah, one guy, person watching. You got any questions about drones? What do you got? When you got anything, literally anything. It could be like, why do they fly? Like something dumb. I'll take dumb questions. Take the dumbest of the dumb questions because there are no dumb questions. Yeah. Slick my chops up. Yeah. All right, we got one dude watching, and I gotta go check on a 3D print. So I'm not gonna end the stream because it took forever. I gotta step that way and check on a 3D print for just a second, and then I will be back. So yeah, and it's not like I'm leaving, and I'm literally in the same room. I just gotta like peek my head over a little bit. Oh, hello. All right, we're back. So yeah, we're back. Doing lame stuff. Oh yeah, that's go turn the light on. Super bright. But this is super cool giant RC airplane that I ordered. It's the Dynam Hobbies P61 Black Widow. I got it in the green just to probably be easier to see. I don't know. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end this soon because there's not a whole lot of people watching, and I'm just one little tiny dude in the corner of YouTube. I don't expect a million views on this or anything like that. It was just like, this might be easier to do than having to edit a whole thing or whatever, which would have been more fun. I like doing stuff like that and editing, but yeah, my SD card's fucking up, and I can't get the damn thing to work. I feel old. But yeah, I've got a fix for it. I'm gonna reformat it on my desktop and do that whole thing. Yeah, what's up? One person watching. Ask me questions in the little chat, or that way, whichever side the chat's on. Yeah, feel free to say what's up. I'm just one little tiny dude in the corner of YouTube that builds these fucking drones. It doesn't let me know who's watching. If you've never seen me before, you can go down and look at my YouTube channel and watch some videos or whatever. I don't really have a way to like get them on the screen at the moment. Yeah. Oh wait, I think there's a screen share button. Let's see. Screen share. Okay. All right. Let's go do this thing. Let's see if I can live stream my own videos. Look at me. Uh-oh. All right. I'm going to turn the sound down on there. And here we go. Share screen. Birthday ribbon. Then we'll share. We'll see what happens. Okay. Now we're sharing it. It'd probably be. The things I have to take. Jesus never ends. It works its way inside. If the bang is on. Oh God, how do I? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the stuff I do. If you've never seen me before, like I said, don't let me know who's watching. It just says I got one person watching, and that's cool. Yeah, that's what I do. Build and fly quadcopters, and got to charge my batteries. But I guess we'll kind of do, a gear breakdown. So the frame of this is a Rotor Riot tank. I know, I was just rambling on about war drones, and look at me, fucking buying Rotor Riot gear. But I bought it a year before they did their shit. Yeah, I still play actually. It's I don't play very often, just because I'm busy with this goofy drone startup thing. Yeah, let me go pull one down. Oh God, I'm gonna embarrass myself. Look at me. Oh Lord. Tuner it. Uh, anyways, that's still out of tune. There we go. I suck. I don't play very often, but um, I still try to retain the I still try to retain the know-how to at least strum out a little bit. But yeah, the rest of those are they got to get fixed and worked on. The pickups of my Dean got that when I was like 16. This little V over there, and played it a lot. Joined a couple little handful of local bands, and then I mainly played like metal stuff, more of like Pantera ish inspired kind of stuff. Man, I haven't been to a metal show in a while. I need to go to one. Thank you, by the way. Yeah. Oh, so I run analog. I like my analog trash. I think it just comes from like being like a 2000s kid. You go to kick on the video games and it's a tube TV and the VHS, and I think that's why I like it. Plus the latency, and I mean I don't mind if it looks like trash. I like the aesthetic. Plus I remove all the IR filters out of my analog quads. I do have two camera drones. And that's what I use for my boring ass sunset videos that no one likes to watch. I mean, it's just something nice to look at sometimes. I'm not like a full of myself person, but like I genuinely like making videos and stuff. Not the greatest at it, but it's just fun to look at the sunset from like 400 feet up, 300 feet, not higher than 400 feet. But yeah, I've got the DJI. I've got two DJI Mini 3 Pros, and so that's kind of my army. I have one freestyle quad that's running, and that would be my tank right now. I used a Axis Flying Manta frame for like most of getting through my channel. Like a couple of years, this frame, dude, I fucking love this frame. If you want to get stalkerish and go back a long ways, this was the quadcopter that was in all my waterproof quadcopter videos. I think like I did like two of them. I might have done three. I remember I went to a car show and poured a bunch of water on it, ripped it around. But now it's broken. And I'm always like careful about where I fly and how I fly because I've got my Part 107. And so if I get in trouble, it's a little bit more of a fine for me. So I got to cover my ass. But yeah, it broke in the most fucking craziest, dumbest ways. And like, okay, so this is how it broke. My fiance's family like just lost their like family dog like a couple of days ago, or not now, but like when this happened. Um, and like the analog broadcast, all the apartment, dude. Yeah, we'll see FPV slapped some HD goggles on my face and took me for a ride, and it was the most amazing thing going from analog to super HD where you could see the bird shit on the top of the fucking light posts and shit. Like that was cool. That sold me on it, but I just analog's cheap. Keeps easier to keep going. Fuck. Oh yeah, that's where I was at. How my Axis flying 5-inch manta frame broke. Yeah. At the time, my fiance's parents lost their family dog like a couple of days ago. At that point, and really somber in the house, and I'm like, oh man, before I go in there, like, all right, I guess I'll rip a quad around for just a minute. Like, not even a full battery. Like, I was just like, just fuck around, have some fun. You know, whatever. Just not be so depressing. Just, I don't know. So I go to plug in the quad. Everything's fine. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll just rip around for a second. Like, even just not even 3 minutes, just a minute at that, just something. And I like kind of go down the street and then kind of come back. And it's like a lit neighborhood. I can see, I pull the, like I said, I pull all the IR filters out of my cameras just because it's easier to see at night. Um, and yeah, they're in a cul-de-sac, so I like get back to the center of the cul-de-sac, and I like just like pull the throttle so I can come up, come back down, and get, just do like a split S and then go back the other way. And as I throttled up, I lost VTX, and then somehow also lost telemetry. Um, and I'm like, I'm not recovering, so I pull the goggles off in like an instant, and then see my little drone tumble onto the roof of my fiance's neighbor's house, and then off into their backyard. And um, yeah, so I had fiance's kiddo. He was out there watching. I was like, hey, go knock on the neighbor's door and like go tell him you were like playing with the drone and it crashed in their backyard if you can get it, because it's a 30-year-old man fucking with drones out in Texas. I don't know, man. I'm just always like afraid that someone's like, a drone, you're spying on me and shit, and like pull a gun or some shit or not let me get my drone back. So that's why I sent the kiddo. And then that neighbor freaked the fuck out and was like, oh my God, someone's knocking on my door. I'm home alone. Called my fiance's parents while they're like grieving over their fucking dog. And it's not funny. It's sad. Like it's sad. But looking back on how it just the pandemonium and chaos that just how it happened was just fuck, dude. Like the worst timing for any quad to fucking fall out of the sky. And yeah. Oh yeah, the 3.5 mantas. I've been wanting to try that one out. That's a good. I'm sorry I'm delayed on these responses. I'm tired too. I got to get up and go to work as well. But yeah, it was like the worst timing for a quad to ever crash out of the sky. And my fiance's parents pretty much told the neighbor what was going on, and they were like, oh, okay, cool, never mind. And sent the kiddo. He went and got the drone. And yeah, worst timing ever for that shit. I don't know, Holy Stone flew away years ago. Yeah, dude. I might do. That might be a fun little video. To go and do a review on like super like cheapy drones, like from Walmart and like uh Timu or whatever the new cheapy thing is. But yeah, no, it seems like a fun idea though. But the goofy part is like once you start like banging into hard regulations as a Part 107, and like you really get to know it all, like it's fucking retarded, dude. Like they want me to put like if I do a video and like I'm not saying fuck the FAA like as a whole entity, because when it comes down to manned aviation, they do cool stuff. That's just they're retarded about drones, and um, I will not fucking put a remote ID module on a Walmart drone that I buy for a review. But like, yeah, they want me to do that. It's fucking ridiculous, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Just because I'm Part 107, now I have to like register everything that flies. Like, no, fuck that. And then they make you register each drone with its own tail number. You can't just share it about like recreational pilots can. Um, but like my point is that I'm Part 107, so I still have to fucking register my drones. But the whole point of that is if it crashes, is to figure out who it leads back to. Um, and if I put the same tail number on 50, let's say I've got 50 drones and they all the same tail number, hypothetically, and I just slapped that sticker on 50 of my drones. I don't have 50 drones. I've got one tank that's flying, two DJI Mini 3 Pros for like Part 107 work. And then I've got a Recon or Recon 4-inch, and then I'm building a second one for a backup for Part 107 jobs. And I've got a Cine a Darwin FPV Cine 2.5 for doing like indoor, what do you call it, real estate shots. And then I have to order another one. And I'm not a big fan of Darwin FPV anymore because the stack they sent me wanted S-Bus data on the flight controller. And yeah, that was a pain in the ass to set up because you have to upgrade Express LRS, whatever version. It's like one of the newest ones. And then when you go to update the firmware on the transmitter, you have to put a partitioner, like download a partitioner into the transmitter just like before you even put in the like brand new software or firmware on the thing. And so yeah, I bricked my transmitter trying to get that set up because when Express LRS or a flight controller wants S-Bus data, you have to basically take one of the RX and TX. The TX you can put on a UART, and then the RX you have to put on the S-Bus pad, and then you have to put it to inverted crossfire and a bunch of fucking dumb, complicated shit. And I was like, "You already bricked my one of my transmitters doing this. I'm not fucking with this. I'm just gonna order a Speedy V stack and go just replace the entire stack in the Cine 8 2.5." So yeah, not a big fan of Darwin FPV. Yeah, it's been a fucking headache with that. I still have to unbrick my other transmitter. It's been a minute. I've just last week's been fucking hectic. But yeah, that's kind of the gear that I'm running. Just analog shit. Yeah, I don't have. I do have actually. I do have a 7-inch, but it's technically not mine. When I first got into FPV, I got super lucky, and there was a guy that my dad knew, and he flew RC airplanes, and he just had a giant Tupperware thing of just quadcopter parts. He's like, I don't know how to put all this together. You seem to be very interested in this, and I was interested in it, but like now it's just too complicated. I would just rather put an FPV system on an RC airplane. That's way easier. And I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, but there's conditions if I give you this. And it was like, I can give you this, but you have to get this 7-inch working and get it bound up. And you can fly it, don't break it. But when I come around, that's my quad to fly. And so, yeah, and it's set up on DJI too. I need to go find the proper batteries for it. It's been years. So I did get it bound and flying at one point, and then the transmitter that I was using for it, one of the switches broke. So, and I've just been so damn busy with a lot of other stuff in the background of this FPV stuff that correlates to it, but also is like the search and rescue thing. And like, I don't want to spill out too much of that just yet. I would rather like just like a mile marker on my channel, like, cool, I'm starting this like little drone startup thing. And yeah. Yeah, and that's honestly that's why I started doing YouTube in the first place. Was like my first I had a Meteor 60, a Beta Meteor 65 was my first quad with the Eachine 800D goggles, which just crapped out on me a few months ago. That's like what's been pushing me through my channel. And the second quad I ever had was a Darwin FPV 3-inch baby ape. And then that got me used to like how big quads fly. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna build me a big boy quad. Lost it in the lake. Spent 3 days throwing a cast net to try to find that bitch in the middle of the summer in Texas, all day for 3 days. Couldn't find it. Hope gone. So I built another big boy quad, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna waterproof this thing and put like a floaty on it or something if it crashes, because I was starting to learn I was learning how to fly big quads, like 5 inches back then, and the FAA in Part 107 shit's like, yeah, you shouldn't be flying over a populated area. And so I was like, all right, well, there's no people over the lake. Whatever, just be confident, and it's going to teach you to not be scared of flying over water to begin with. So there you go. There's your advantage. And that was the thinking behind flying over the lake to begin with. But then I lost a quad in it, and then I was like determined to get back up in the air and just built a waterproof version, and it worked out. It was cool. Until it just crapped out on me. Like, and that happened pretty recently. Like that was within like the last, I think November. Yeah, between like November and December, that this, from like sort of the beginning of my channel doing bigger shit, like this drove me for a long ways on my channel. But yeah, that's why I started this channel to begin with. It was just like kind of a journal log of progression, and then I'm almost 3 years deep into it, and now there's like, oh fuck, how do I have 1,300 followers? Like I don't even fucking know. Like this is like half of these bots, because I got a lot of followers, but not like 1 million views. And I would never push for 1 million views. Like I don't really give a fuck about that. Like I just like flying and making videos, and it's fun to edit and like make goofy shit. And I was using a Canon SLR2 for all my like vloggy shit, and then I went out flying one day, and I was like having some bladder issues. I'm getting old. It's what happens when you get old. You turn 30 and just shit starts falling apart. You're like, whoa, I got to get healthy. And yeah. So I had to pee really bad, put my camera on top of the roof, and like fucking drove off after I got done peeing. Forgot it was on the roof, and spent like 2 days looking for it because I heard where it fell off on the car, and I like instantly stopped and was like, oh shit, and went and looked for it. It was middle of the night, and then yeah, never found it, and it was like, damn. Um, yeah, no, I just turned 31 February 24th, so look at this. My hair's falling out. Look at this. Shine my light on it. Look at that. I'm going bald. It's all right. You're never old. Old is just a old age is just a number. I think if we're all flying quads, I think we're all fucking 25 still at heart. like, um, but like, yeah, that's the crazy part about this is like, I mean, like, damn, like, how did you, how the Lambo? Is there a, were you on off axis or anything? I could have swore you were at one point, or maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. I don't remember. Um, but like, damn, it'd be cool to know how you got into FPV, like, all that stuff. Because like, my goggles are getting slid around. There we go. But like, yeah, man. It's just interesting, like hearing how people get into this shit, like genuinely. Like, maybe I should learn tech a little bit better and start my own like off-axis podcast. Yeah, that was. I will say that like getting into this at the beginning of it, like seeing Bot Grinder was like, whoa, what? There's a whole nother like dude out here that like listens to death metal and shit too, and he's just out here fucking around with quads. Like, all right, cool, sweet. Like, I don't know. His story's kind of interesting. Sucks to hear that like old fucking Philly drone life can't fly anymore. I know that's like a super polarizing like topic, but it's just I'm not really polarized one way or another on it. Like, he was a fucking threat to society, but like, I don't know, man. Like, I just saw a dude flying drones that was just fucking loud about it, and like, that's cool to go fly your drones and be loud about it. Like, go be healthy and go do something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at least he's flying drones. At least he's doing something. Like, and having fun, having a good time doing it. Just I don't know. It just sucks that like that happened, and then like you hear about the dude that like supposedly or not supposedly, but the dude that hit the fucking firefighter plane with his DJI, and it's like, damn, you really didn't hear much about that. Like, they blew up Philly drone life, and he was just like being loud and shit. The other dude actually fucking hit a goddamn plane. Like, yeah. Yeah, I that's why I was like, I knew you hopped on. May I need to hop on there next. I just um yeah, like that's crazy. Like, right? Like that the FP that the like the FAA is just like, no, you can't fly anymore. And then so okay, maybe this is a conspiracy theory. Um I feel like the courts made him take down his videos because I maybe and I don't know like all the facts. I don't know if he got a lawyer or like the inner workings behind that. But um hell yeah. I'm down for it. I'll do it. Give me some time though. I got to go to. I got work and job stuff to do too. um, but yeah, I'll definitely be hitting him up. But yeah, I think I forgot where the fuck I was, Mister ADHD. Me being fucking Captain ADHD over here. Oh, Philly Drone Life. That's right. Um, yeah, I don't. Yeah, like he was like kind of one of the OGs. Oh, the conspiracy theory thing. That's where I was at. Um, okay, so I feel like they made him take down his entire YouTube channel because if someone goes back to it and they like analyze it and they realize he wasn't endangering anyone, even though he didn't have the like part 107 or whatever, and like he wasn't flying like irresponsibly, like going like way high and like actually going into like ILS like instrument lineup paths and shit. Like I'd like, and that's from what I saw. Like just from what I saw on his videos, it was like it was all close to the ground within like the 400-foot bubble that's like around buildings and towers or whatever. You can go 400 feet above the highest object and 400 feet out. And it seemed like he kind of stuck to that. And just because he was like loud and boisterous about it, and just, I'm not calling him an idiot, but like, just like I'm an idiot in my videos. Like I'm kind of a goofy retard, and like, seeing how they went after him was like, oh fuck, man, like that's fucked up. Like he was like losing weight, and like that was helping him with his health shit. And now he can't fly a drone ever again. That fucking sucks, and it's crazy. Um, but it also like really pulls out at the same time of like, oh fuck, like it almost seems like uh, I just feel like they were completely out of touch with the punishment. I don't think that it should have been that harsh for a dude that was just being goofy. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, if they wanted to at least give the guy a fine or something to be like, oh, get your part 107, pay this extra money because you didn't pay us or whatever. Like, and not like $180,000 fine. Like, fuck that. Like, that's insane. Yeah. So the thing that, and maybe this should, I don't know what, I never did the trust test, so I don't know if there's like regulations that follow that. So like, so this is what was in the part 107 book for me is that, damn hair in my mouth. I'm gonna trim this thing. Um, but this is in the book for me. It was okay. Here we go. Perfect example. So like, here's a building, and here's, we'll say like this is 400 feet or whatever. You can go 400 feet above like the tallest building or tower, um, or 400 feet away from it. You just think about it as like a 400-foot thick blanket that just goes over everything. Um, that's what it is for part 107. I don't know what it is for like trust. Oh, okay. So I guess with the, like, if you're just like a recreational pilot, they don't let you go over 400 feet above the tallest building, right? This is news to me. I don't I just studied the part 107 book. I didn't take anything else. Oh shit, I didn't know that. Whoa. Wow. So they got him on like, that's kind of dumb. Like, what? I didn't know that. I have to go look. I'm gonna go look that up after this now. But yeah, that's news. I didn't know that for like regular, just non part 107 people. That was the dealio. Um, that's so interesting with like regulations and how they're like, if you go take this test, and that's the crazy part about it is like, so I in the Part 107 stuff, it's like, um, okay. So yeah, damn. So yeah, I think they just really threw the book at him too hard. Like, yeah, like I didn't know that. Like it just feels like it, like if the judge was gonna be super fucking dickish about it, like I mean, I feel like a $5,000 fine or something like that. Like, not that I'm saying throw the book at the guy or he deserves a fine or like anything like that, but like, I mean, if they were that mad at him, like, damn, it kind of scares me a little bit because like I'm a little bit goofy with some of my stuff, and like I'm extremely cautious about like where I fly, how I fly. I make sure I test all my shit before I go fly so I don't lose a prop and accidentally impale my quad in someone's car. And I also try, like I don't fly around cars or like stuff like that. I do fly at a gas station sometimes, and like, but I just make sure it's an hour. It's not at an hour that it's not busy, and like all the gas station clerks are cool with it. Like they'll come out on the cigarette break, and I'm like, "No, dude, smoke your cigarette. You're cool. I'm gonna fly my drone real quick, and yeah, just enjoy your time off. You don't get a break, so like I'm just the chill guy here. Like enjoy your cigarette, man. Like don't put it out. I'll fly a drone. It's cool. You want to watch it?" And they're like, "Okay, whatever." Like then usually they see it and they're like, "Okay, that's fucking cool." And that's usually how I get cool with all the gas station people around me. Um, Same homie as the drone guy. And it's like I pretty much go fly, and then sometimes I'll go buy like a couple of beers or whatever, and then come back and edit and have a few beers while I'm editing. And like, yeah, it's a lot of fun for me because it's like, um, I do have a sports bike, and like I used to get really dumb and crazy on that thing. Super, a lot of fun, a lot of fun. But I was having too much fun, um, and I had a couple of really scary close calls. I've been riding motorcycles for 10 years, and yeah, I just kind of had some close, sketchy calls, being stupid, and kind of after that, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go fly these fucking drones like a bird on crack in these parking lots. And I was already flying at that point. It just kind of further solidified me into yeah, that's and it sucks because like, you know, like my most of my like life I've been around manned aviation. So like, man, when you really know what's going on up there and like you get in a plane and like you realize that like, dude, shit happens so fast. Like, and like most of the Part 107 stuff, it's all like airplane pilot knowledge. It's like, and it's important. It teaches you like this is Class D airspace. This is Class E airspace that begins at 700 feet. So like you're pretty much clear to fly without like any clearance. This is technically considered Class G, um, with the 400-foot limit. But like, yeah, there are a lot of people like that don't follow the rules, and it's like, I'm not a huge firearms guy. Like, I don't have like a fuck ton of guns or anything, but I do live in Texas, um, and so it's funny. I got interested in firearms after I kind of got into quads, and dumb story. I just had someone try to steal a motorcycle. Um, it's just stupid shit. Didn't shoot anyone or anything like that. It was was just nice. I didn't have one around, and it would have really been nice to have one, just to make me feel comfortable. But back to the point of the drones. It's funny because now it's almost like gun laws, dude. Like, okay, someone goes and does something stupid with a gun, and then because they went and did something retarded and fucked up, it like, oh, thank you. Yeah, I wish I had an airplane. I wish I had airplane money, but that's why I've got this giant P-61 Black Widow hanging up. That'll be, yeah, it's got a wingspan of 5 feet. And like, yeah, like a lot of people don't follow the rules and shit. And oh yeah, the gun laws things, how it like relates to drones. And it's interesting because someone will go do something dumb with a drone, and then they'll like, now there's new regulations for guns because someone did something stupid with a gun. And I kind of feel like it's the same thing with quadcopters and like drones now. It's like someone went and did something stupid. Now we have to add this other tracker thing to our drone, I guess, or like whatever. Like, but yeah, I've always been interested in manned aviation, and like I'll never sell out. Like I'm always gonna like fucking love to have fun and fly quads. But if I get an airplane or come across airplane money somehow, like investing and shit, I've got some. I kind of mess with crypto a little bit. It's all down right now. I'm not worried about the coins I'm in. I'm just like, all right, it's just another roller coaster ride. We'll see. And, if something cool happens, and if not, well, I mean, I'm right where I was when I started before it all went up and whatever. It's like, all right, well, try something else, I guess, and like it's kind of it. But yeah, like I always try to be respectful about like where I fly, and like there's a house being built across the street from my house now. It used to just be woods, and like I get like it's new. Like some people don't even know what the fuck is going on. And it's funny because like sometimes I've gone to go fly, and there's like, when I first got into this, I fully expected to like, you're spying on my kids, and like flying analog quadcopters, and I was really surprised like what the reactions were to it, and it was like, whoa, that's fucking cool. Is that like virtual reality? That's awesome. Like pretty much most of that, and then very rare. I had one cop be an asshole about it once. I don't have very many like drone Karen stories. I've got like 2. I was like, I had my head in my car getting my drone ready, didn't realize a cop pulled up, and because I'm like head down pulling the quad out, turning on the radio, all that shit, and like I get to a point where I'm like, all right, cool, everything's set up. I mean, like test hover it and like wait, whatever, right in front of me. And as soon as that lady like walked out past my car, I like real hard. She dropped almost and like reached for her gun. I was like, as I turned around, because like I was like, oh fuck, like it's just a drone, dude. You're cool. Like it's just a little toy drone. I'm certified. I've got the Part 107 commercial drone license. Real cool. And she like, oh my god, dude. It was funny because she started like throwing a bunch of like regulations at me that were like not. Maybe they were for other people, not me, because it was like, you're not allowed to fly over 200 feet, and you're not even allowed to fly in public, and this and this and that. And I was like, do you want to see my drone credentials? It's like I'm FAA certified, like. And she was like, yeah. I showed it to her, and she was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, it's not a she was like, it's not a driver's license. I was like, yeah, it's a drone certification through the FAA to fly drones commercially. And Yeah, she was like all pissed about it. She went to call her like commanding officer, and who also she's like, I'm gonna go call my drone guy, which is what she told me. And whichever dude had a Part 107, and she was like, yeah, he's flying in public, and then like she told him that like I gave her my like 107 ID, and it was just funny because everything she like tried to pin on me while she's on the phone, she would like, he did this and that, and then like fucking give me the go to hell look. As I already know, if she's calling a Part 107 drone guy, he's gonna be like, yeah, that's he's allowed to fly there. And then like everything she tried to get me on was like couldn't stand up, just following rules and shit. That was drone Karen story number one, and then the other drone Karen story happened in my yard, and no, I didn't, and that's like I know I kind of stand on like X Jets, um, kind of thinking on like that that stuff as far as like super compliance, like I think as long as you're safe and like as long as you understand like what you're doing and like you're not doing anything dumb and you're like actually being safe about it, like you're like, oh, okay, cool, let me go check ADSB to make at least say I checked it, look at it, make sure there's nothing crazy. Oh, go check the the NOTAMs or whatever if there's any like stuff like that. And then just for fun, I like to do a density altitude check. But I think it's all common sense, and if you just understand, like, oh, I don't have a spotter, like, don't fly your drone where you can't see it, and then like, oh my God, there's people over here. Like, okay, well, don't fly your drone over people, and like, I think that's the thing is like, okay, these things weigh like a kilogram, like a pound and a half, if you're flying like big 5-inch quadcopters, and like just yeah, it's like okay, that's why I go to an abandoned or not abandoned, but like gas station at like 10 o'clock at night because there's no one there. And oh yeah, a second drone Karen story. But yeah, so like I think that you can be safe with non-compliance on certain things, just as long as you're not being like a complete idiot about it, like trying to fly a 5-inch over a crowd of people and you're like ripping the shit out of it. Like I wouldn't do that. That's not. I don't want to say it's not safe, but like if you take the precautions to know, like I don't know, it's dumb. But yeah, the second drone Karen story was like I was having VTX issues with this quad. Um, so I'm like flying it in the yard, kind of testing it, flying to the edge, getting to some trees in between me and the quad so I can like, and every time I would throttle up, I would get a bunch of noise on my VTX. And I was like, all right, well, it's probably dirty power coming from the flight controller or something. I don't know. Let me just have some fun and go rip around. And then I like smacked into the stop sign at the end of my property like damn near 40, 50 miles an hour almost. I don't know how fast I was going. I just know I was hauling ass. Um, Drone hits the stop sign, flings and flies away, and like, okay, cool. Let me go. I mean, not flies away, but just flings off, whatever. Like, all right, cool. Let me go pick up the million pieces that it's in, and then I like the Rotor Riot tank frame. This thing has fallen 4 fucking stories flat and then ran into a stop sign, hauling ass, and it's still good to go. I had to replace the camera mounts because I got like bent. I probably could have bent them back, but it's always nice to have a backup thing. So yeah, as I'm picking up the pieces to that, like this old lady and her old floppy husband come by, and they're like, "You're hovering drones over my backyard, and it's kicking on my Ring doorbell at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. and you're kicking on a spotlight and going and looking at my neighbor's building and all this and that." And I'm like, I'm already like mildly frustrated because I'm like, I just broke my damn quad on a stop sign because it had VTX issues, and I shouldn't have been doing that to begin with, because it's like, all right, you're gonna crash your drone, dummy. Fix it. I don't know, man. And then they're like berating me with all this shit, and I'm like, ma'am, I don't. Do you understand what kind of drone this is? And she was like, no. And I was like, all right, this is all right. I go through my whole, like, I'm a Part 107 commercial drone operator certified by the FAA, blah 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 blah. It's not me hovering over your house. This is not that type of drone. Put on a pair of goggles and, like, you go fly around with it. It feels like strapping, flying in a little RC plane. It's just a new school version. They don't really make drones that have spotlights available to the general public that you can just go shine on something. Yeah, that's not me. And they were like, where do you live? I'm in my yard at this point. They're like they just drove up in their fucking car. I'm like, dude, I live right here, man. Like, you should probably go learn about this stuff. And if you do figure out who's ever, like, hovering their drone over your yard, like, don't go screaming at them, because it could be a kid that just got a drone or whatever, or it could be some old dude that just got a drone and was like, this is cool, I can go fly. Like, like, just, it's not always someone spying. But yeah, they eventually drove away. They like tried to pin shit on me, and I was just like, well, yeah. They're like, it was funny. They're like, yeah, I should go get me a drone then, huh? And I was like, well, actually, you should learn how to build a drone, because if you go buy a drone, like, you are going to crash it regardless. Eventually, all drones crash, all RC airplanes crash, just a matter of time. But if you go build a drone and you crash it, well, then you just learn, you had to teach yourself about three-phase electrical signals. So you know that you can just go replace a motor, or it's doing something funky because whatever, and you can just, instead of paying $300, get it shipped out, and then to come back, wait 6 months, you can just pay $12 for a new motor and go slap it on there, or pay $30 for the new electronic thing that's not spinning the motor right. And like, yeah, like, yeah, dude, it's like, it's funny as shit. And so I had to show up to an HOA meeting, and I'm like, I'm out of my parents' house, dude. Like, I'm helping them out. They're fucking getting old, and like, my dad's got heart issues and shit. So I'm like, partly here to help them out, and then partly here just because, fuck, dude, housing is expensive as shit. And I'm also building this company at the same time, and so it's like, I was really dumb about it before, but I don't know, man. I just was like, fuck it. I really had just been sitting on it, but I'm really trying to push to do like aerial photography and videography, and like, I've got business cards. So like, now it's like, I'm officially building this thing, and so I'll take all the money that I'm making from doing like aerial shots and like real estate, whatever I can get my hands on, and then I'll pump that into either something that can make more money, like doing thermal drone analysis or whatever, doing thermal maps or something, and then make a whole bunch of money doing that. Yeah, but like, at the same time, I'll also be funding this like search and rescue project that I have going. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a journey, but yeah, now I've got like business cards and shit, and so I'm actually like trying to do something. And yeah, I had another neighbor. It's not really a drone Karen story, but just an old dude that like he's got some buddies on the HOA, and like, I went out to go, like, they're building a house across the street. I was like, okay, maybe this dude bought it because he's like chilling out there with his fucking golf cart. Like, I'm like, all right, well, let me go out there and at least say, hey, what's up? I fly drones. If you if you're moving in or whatever, like, hey, I'm not spying, just flying. Like, exactly, like, just like, hey, here you go, here's my business card. If you want some pictures or whatever, like, my rates are pretty affordable. Just, call me or text me. And yeah, homie proceeds to be like, yeah, half the neighborhood's trying to turn you in. I'm like, what? For what? Spying? And I'm like, yeah, that's not me. Um, so yeah, before that turns into a big kerfuffle for something stupid, I got to show up to an HOA meeting again. Um, yep, signs of getting old. Fucking turn 31. Everything starts falling apart. Showing up to HOA meetings. Meeting with fucking CEOs and shit for like other drone startups. It's fun. But yeah, that's pretty much all the drone Karen shit that I have. But oh shit, it's late. I didn't realize it was 1:20. But yeah, I'll probably hop off of here in a minute. I gotta get to going to work here in the morning. But yeah, I've never live streamed before. This is like my first time really doing it, and I just figured I'd try it out. It seemed like a lot of fun. And also an update. You're probably the only one that's gonna get this, Lambo. I might not be uploading videos for a while because hold on one second. Let me grab this thing. So I've been rocking Eachine 800Ds for like most of the time this channel's been up. And now they've got like a loose solder joint somewhere and they won't charge properly. So I went out and bought me a pair of J Aerial goggles. I got Safe Zone's little sticker on there and sticker slapped it. Don't ever buy these goggles. These J Aerial goggles. They fucking suck. And yeah, it won't record anything. Like you go to hit the like record button and the recording starts, but it doesn't. It like no matter how many times you hit the button after that, it won't stop recording. So you have to turn the goggles off, and like, yeah, when you turn the goggles off, it doesn't save the video. So they're just fucking spectator goggles now, and my Eachine 800D still works, so I'll probably go back to those just to get me through. But I am gonna go buy me a pair of fucking nice goggles. I'll be throwing down at least $400 or $500 for goggles, so that I know they're good, and then I've got to do that for doing like the aerial whatever professional drone footage. Because I at least want to make sure that like if I go to a job, I at least want to make sure that at least my goggles and basic gear like that's reliable. But yeah. Oh, if you're curious about how I got the goggles nickname, it has nothing to do with FPV. So it's because of these dumb goggles. I've been rocking them since college. I love them. They're convenient as shit. And I guess the public knows now that these are safety rated. But I didn't know that until like 3 months after I was wearing them, thinking I was like a cool little like alternative goth kid in college. Yeah, I don't know what kind of goggles I'm gonna get. I think I'll probably go either with Sky Zone, or if Orca goggles ever get anything back in stock, I'll definitely be. I would rather shoot for a pair of Orca goggles just because like they're so fucking cool. They got all the features. Yeah, probably Sky Zone, or some Orca goggles. But yeah, it got on somehow, because I worked in like the live entertainment industry as a lighting tech and programmer, and a stagehand and all that, and I was just staring at programming lights all day, and so like, you just now I can program and not be blinded by occasional giant fucking stage light beams that will shine you right in the eyes when you're programming them sometimes. And it's like it'll fucking bite the shit out of you, and it sucks. Um, but yeah, so I like started wearing them for that purpose, so I don't get like blinded while like programming stage lights. And then, um, yeah, orcas are fucking cool, dude. I love them. Yeah, so I'd been rocking these things, and then um, I ended up on tour with a death metal band based out of Ohio called the Convalescence, or it's probably going to be backwards, but T-Con. I got their little bus tattooed on me on tour. It was fun. Um, and yeah, so it was like my first 18-hour drive just straight from Ohio down to Texas, jacked on energy drinks. And then you finally get there, you're exhausted. And we were meeting up with another band on the tour package. And we met up with that other band. We pulled up. Band went inside the venue, and the other band we were meeting up with pulled up after us, like sometime after, like probably like I'd say like 20, 30 minutes. Not too late, but just there. And they started like, "Oh, what's up, man? You're the new T-Con bus driver or whatever." And like they saw the bus, they went out and like, everyone like writes their name or whatever, or like sign something or draw something cool or whatever, like on leave some kind of mark on the bus. And they were like, "Can we come on the bus or whatever?" I was like, "I don't know, dude. Like I'm new. I mean, I guess y'all can poke y'all's head in or whatever, but like, um, I wouldn't say come on the bus. I'll probably get in a fuck ton of trouble, but like, I already know you guys are touring with us. Y'all might party up here, but like, I guess peek your head in. Yeah, cool." They're like, "Oh yeah, what's up, dude? What's your name?" And at this point, I was fucking tired. Just been up for 20 hours, driving a bus for 18. And yeah, you get real goofy when you're that fucking tired. And no one has ever called me Goggles before in my life. It was just Alex, or like, "Hey dude," or like yell or make a loud noise, and like, "Hey, okay, what's up, dude?" Like, I don't know, like, I was just being fucking retarded. And it was like, they were like, "What's your name, dude?" I was like, "My name's Goggles. What's up, dude?" And they were like, no one's ever called me Goggles at that point, fucking ever in my life. And so they go into the venue, and then I see the lead vocalist of this band coming out, and he's also the manager. And I'm like, man, he looks pissed, dude. Like, fuck, he looks angry. What happened in there? Did something bad happen inside the venue? Like, did you get a fight or something? Like, he's not a fuck around guy. Like, I don't want to know what happened. I'll just leave him to his business. Like, and yeah, he gets on the bus and he picks me up by my shirt against the fucking bus window, because I'm like chilling side seat in the bus driver's seat. And he's like, "Who the fuck is Goggles? And what homeless person did you let on my goddamn bus?" And I'm like, I should have been pissing myself, but I started laughing just because like I knew the backstory. And I'm like, I start pointing at myself. I'm like, "I'm Goggles, dude." And he was like, Who the fuck calls you Goggles?" So like, like I told him, I was like, "No one. I just was being fucking goofy." And he was like, "Well," he chuckled about it and had a good laugh over it. And he was like, "Cool. I thought there was a fucking homeless person on our bus and you just abandoned our fucking bus, because that's happened before." What the fuck, dude? No, like, I'm here to guard the bus. I didn't just abandon the bus and let a homeless person come live on it. Like, fuck that. Like, you guys are cool. Like, I'll fight a homeless person to keep him off this bus. Shit. And they like dropped me or whatever, and like he was like, "Well, I hope you like the nickname because that's your fucking name from now on, bitch." And yeah, that's how I acquired the name Goggles. Really dumb way that has nothing to do with FPV. But yeah, this was fun. I wish there was a way to like screen share and like um, bring someone else on or share the screen with someone. But I gotta get off here. I gotta go. It's late. It's like 1:30, and I've got work tomorrow. Um, but yeah, I'll see you guys later. Whether it's Lambo, I'll see you later, Lambo, if you're still watching, or if it's someone random or whatever. But thank you for listening to my rant. I guess you can treat it like Joe Rogan, whatever. If he didn't have anyone to interview, and he's just rambling. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. You guys can. I'll keep it up. Whatever. I won't like have it erased. And if it does, that wasn't my choice. It probably just did it automatically. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys that like watches my videos and comments and like shit like that. Like it genuinely like means the fucking world to me that like I learned this crazy tech thing, and then through learning this crazy tech thing, you like gain the superpower to fly, and then you can like post that on the internet, and then there's like a bunch of other people doing the same shit, and it's like, okay, this is really fucking cool. It's just like a bunch of people that just go and fly like birds on crack in parking lots, and it's just fun. And it like, dude, it means the world to me that there's this whole community of people that do that. And it's really cool to start a YouTube channel, and then like it's growing, and I'm not even like, I'm just some idiot in the corner of this shit that just like started and just picked it up, and I'll never stop flying. I'm always gonna continue to fly. But yeah, I thank you to everyone that has viewed this and watches my videos and like comments or likes or whatever. That hate comment my shit. I'll laugh with you. Um, I won't get. I ain't that kind of angry about shit. But yeah, like genuinely, thank you everyone that's ever watched my videos or watching this or will watch it or won't watch it, whatever. And if you're not from Texas, and you happen to roll into the Houston area, hit me up, and I make some damn good tacos, and we can go fly. I've got, if I have a drone that flies. But yeah, if anyone ever that flies and they're not in Texas and you happen to end up in the Houston area, hit me up. I'll make you some dank ass tacos, and we'll go fly drones and go hang out. And that's kind of the whole point of all this flying is it's, just get out, go have fun, go fly some drones, get out the house. But all right, I'm gonna officially end this now. So I appreciate everyone that's liked this and watched it or is still watching, the 2 people that are. So yeah, good night, y'all. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Sweet drone dreams and all that good stuff. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in some of my other videos later. Oh wait, it's still going. There we go. Now we end it. Woo! See y'all later, man.